full minutes of stretching time that is just for you. So wear some layers and or turn the heat on in your house because we're going to get started with a warm-up, but we want to make sure that we stay warm for the whole workout. So first things first, we're doing a step with a tap back. Rock forward, step back, rock forward. Good. And as we begin this, we're going to just do a little arm swing. Across, open, cross, and open. Good. So this is sort of a dynamic warm-up and stretch for the upper body. We're using just a spare amount of momentum here to give ourselves a little bit of an opening through the chest and exploring our range of motion. Now, if you need to keep your arms lower, like so, kind of closer to your hips, that's okay. We want to make sure that we're sort of gently introducing the chest to this stretch. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's go ahead and bring that back knee up into a high knee and then over to the other side and hold. Switch, hold. Switch, hold. We're adding a little bit of stability work here. Up and up. Very good. Now we're going to go ahead and bring the arms up to about a 90 degrees and hold. Gorgeous. Chest is nice and tall. Core is nice and tight. Back is nice and flat. And we're going to bring the opposite elbow to the opposite knee. Good. Beautiful. Get that breath going. Good. Building up a little bit of heat in the shoulders and the arms for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that foot down and let's tap. We're moving just a little bit faster here. Nice and light on our feet. Building up a little bit more breath. The blood is going to be flowing just a little bit faster. Let's add a reach across the body. Beautiful. Keeping that core nice and tight. A small rotation through the torso. We're paying attention to our shoulders. They're down, away from the ears. Paying attention to our spine. Beautiful. Nice and quick with those feet. We've got 4, 3, good, 2, and you're going to reach across the body one more time. Bring your feet to center and keep your arm right there. Other hand comes between the elbow and the forearm and straighten out that arm and pull close to the body. Get a little stretch through the shoulder gap. Beautiful, and breathe. Big inhale, big exhale, and try to drop that shoulder a little bit. It's going to hike up somewhat, but we just don't want it all the way up here. Gorgeous. Big old breath in. Exhale. Good. One more time. Big inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to let go of that arm and bring it up and behind the head. Fingertips walking down the spine as you grab onto the point of the elbow and tricep stretch here. Very nice. Try your best to keep your knees soft, glutes lightly engaged. Very good. A little bit of an inhale. Exhale as you step back into a semi-curtsy. Essentially, we're not doing a deep knee bend or anything, but we're sending one foot back on a diagonal as we extend through the rib cage over. Make a little bit of a stretch through the oblique side of the waist. Beautiful. One more big breath in. And exhale, you're going to bring your feet back to center, torso back to tall. Both arms extend up. We're going to bring the hands to the shoulders and reach, reach, and reach. Good. Now remember which arm that was. For me, it was my right.
Sorry to interrupt, but I don't have any volume. I can't hear you.
Oh, my dear. Goodness. Does anybody else have that problem? Keep going, ladies.
Oh, that's better.
Try to take my input up a little bit. Well, I am closer to the mic. All right, I'm gonna try to speak a little louder. All right.
I like your haircut.
Well, if I'm closer to the mic, it's easier to hear me. Good. For 4, 3, 2, 1, go ahead and keep that arm here. Bring the feet together. Grab between the elbow and the wrist and hug in. How is that on volume? Can you hear me okay?
Great, it's great. It
All
works.
right. I just have to project.
It wasn't projecting. There was just nothing. There was nothing.
Oh,
It was there and then it was gone.
not sure why. Interesting. All right, a little stretch through the calf of the shoulder here. Palm is facing up. Breathe. Good. One more time. Big inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to bring that arm all the way down to the back, reaching down the spine, grabbing the tip of that elbow, and pulling in into the tricep stretch. So now I'm stretching out my left side, and hopefully you are also doing the opposite side of what you were doing before. Good. Nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to step back into your semi-curtsy and little tilt over. Essentially getting as much length as you can through the side of that waist. Beautiful. One more deep breath in. And exhale, bring your feet back to center. Bring your torso to stacked. Big reach up. We're going to bring the hands back to the shoulders. This time, instead of reaching across, we're going to do a tiny squat and reach up. So sending the hips back, always making sure that the weight is in the heels. You'll notice it's not a big deep squat. I'm not coming all the way down here. It's just little bitty ones. Good. For 3, 2, and 1, go ahead and sweep the hands down, palms facing the floor, and they're going to clasp behind the back. Open up those wrists, roll the shoulders back and down, and straighten out the arms. We're going into our chest stretch. Now we should feel some nice stretching through the front of the shoulders and the chest. Beautiful opener here. Now if you're feeling any tension in your neck, you can do what I'm doing. Just very gentle, looking to the right and to the left. Good. Big breath in. When you inhale, you should feel your chest expand. And exhale, drop your shoulders back and down even more. Good. One more time. Big breath in. And exhale, let go of those hands and let them flop to the front of the body. Good. Give me a nice little shoulder roll. Let's do 2 more of those, then 1 more. Good. Hands to the shoulders once again. Tiny squat and reach. Tiny squat and reach. Very nice. We're incorporating a little bit more of our warm-up moves into our upper body and standing series here in an effort to keep you warm because it is chilly outside. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Sweep the arms down, flip the palms, this time meeting in the front of the body. We're going to clasp the fingers. Open up through the wrists so that you're making a nice little rectangle here. And then you're going to take the insides of your elbows, little pits right here. You're going to roll them up to the ceiling. Big breath in. And exhale as you very gently allow your shoulders to roll forward. Here you should feel stretching through the upper back, the tops of the shoulders. Drop your chin forward and down. Very good. And breathe. Excellent. Nice deep breath in. And exhale very gently, soften your elbows, bring your shoulders back and down, release your hands, give me 3 shoulder rolls back, 2, and 3 followed by 3 shoulder rolls forward, 1, 2, and 3, very good. We're going to stand feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. I'm going to drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Essentially what I want you to work on right now is lengthening your neck as much as you can. Imagine as though you have energy shooting down from your fingertips. Alternatively, strings are attached to your fingertips and pulling them down, and another string is attached to your head and pulling it up. Big breath in as you send your head over to your right, without allowing that shoulder to pop up, without allowing the torso to tilt. And exhale. You should feel a nice little stretch through the side of your neck. I'm tilting my head over to the right, thus I'm going to take my right hand and ever so gently place it just above my ear. Keep shooting those fingertips down. We're getting as much length as possible through the side of that neck. Big breath in. And exhale, very gently release your head, bring your head back up, fingertips back down, shoot your fingertips toward the floor. Good. Big breath in, exhale, head over to the other side. Feels so good. Feel the length you're creating between your neck and your collarbone. All of this here is stretching and lengthening. Good. Now my head is tilted over to my left. Thus my left hand is going to come up very gently, place on top of the ear. Wonderful. Big breath in. Exhale, lengthen, drop that shoulder even more if you can. Fingertips are still pointing through your, strings are still pulling through your fingertips down. One more time, big breath, and exhale, let that head go, bring it back to center, 3 shoulder rolls back, and 3 shoulder rolls forward. Very good. And we're going to come to the back of our chair. Now, we're going to go over a standing hip flexor stretch. Now, I haven't done this one in a little while, and I know sometimes a kneeling hip flexor stretch can be tough on the knees, so we're going to review it here. I'd like you to start with your feet on a railroad track, not on a tightrope, okay? So your feet are maybe like 2 feet of space between them, so that when you take a big step back, you can see how much space there still is between them. Now I'm going to do this sideways so you can see exactly what I'm doing, but please keep that in mind. So if you need the chair for your support, you're going to start by standing really close to the chair, like basically your belly should be touching it, feet in your railroad track, and you're going to send one foot all the way back. Both feet are still on your railroad track. Because you started so close, you should be able to sit up nice and tall, right on top of your hips, and still kind of reach the chair easily without having to lean forward. So, soft front knee, soft back knee. Torso is stacked up, nice and tall. Now, I want you to pull your belly button in, and then imagine as though there's a string pulling your pubic bone forward. You're going to soften your front knee just a little bit more and send your hips ahead of you in space. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean that you're hyperextending your lower back, trying to get your hips way out, leading. But we want to make sure that we're getting a lot of length through the front of this hip. Good. Very nice. If you'd like, you can take the heels of your palms and place them right on the top of your butt. Now, all that's going to do, drive down just a little bit. It's going to ensure that your tailbone points straight down, not back. Okay. Beautiful. This one is a lot of muscle engagement. You're balancing, your core is tight, you're standing, your legs are probably burning a little bit. So this is a nice one to do when you want to stay warm. 2 more deep breaths. Very good. Last one, big inhale. And exhale very gently. You're going to send your chest forward first. That's going to bring you out of this stretch. Send your weight onto your front foot. Very nice, and you're going to walk your feet all the way back, keeping your hands planted on that chair back until you're able to drop your chest down toward the floor. Getting our lovely chest and shoulder stretch here. Knees are soft, please, no locked knees on this one. Good. Nice deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, drop your chest. Good, one more time. Big inhale. And exhale, come all the way up. I'm going to take a big old step forward, and we'll do the hip flexor stretch again on the other side. Feet on the railroad track, sending the other leg back into your giant letter A. Now both toes and both hips are essentially pointing in the exact same direction. Soft front knee, soft back knee, torso stacked up nice and tall. If you need to have your hands on the back of the chair, should be pretty easy to reach. Pull your belly button in, make sure your chest isn't folding forward. We're going through length on the other hip right here. Can't really see it, so if I were to turn around, it would look like this. Good. Little tailbone tuck, string attached to that pubic bone, and the string is pulling you forward very gently. You'll notice in order to get that forward movement, I'm softening my front knee just a little bit more. If your knee doesn't like it, you can always widen your stance. That's going to give you a little bit more play without such a deep bend in the knee. Hands, if you like, are right behind your back. Pushing down the top of that butt. You should feel lots of length through this hip. Nice little stretch. Always good during pandemic when we were sitting so much. Beautiful. Deep breath in. And exhale very gently. If you have your chair, place your hands on the back. If you're, in my case, in a physical chair, send your chest forward, come out of the stretch, weight onto that front foot, and we're going to go ahead and come to seated. So, let me push that back just a touch. So that you can see my whole body. I'm going to begin, as always, with the breath exercise. So here I'm going to have you sit on your chair, make sure that you're nice and upright. So don't lean against your chair back. Belly button is in, string pulling up the top of that head. Your feet are directly underneath your knees are lined up with your hips. Hands on the tops of your thighs. Now I want you to take a breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to allow your eyes to come closed. And for now, I just want you to notice your breath. Notice the part of the body rises and falls. You're not really forcing any breath, just letting it fall in and out. I just want you to pay attention. So for me, I feel the breath a little bit in my chest. Which is very, very common, especially for women. We often wear tight waistbands and stuff like that. We get used to breathing into our chest. So keep your eyes closed, ladies. We're going to go into a breath counting exercise. I've done this maybe once or twice before. I will count for you. You're going to breathe in on a 4 count, trying to get enough air to maintain your exhale, which will be on an 8 count. So the exhale will be twice as long as the inhale. The first couple of times, you're probably going to run out of air before you get to number 8. But we'll do this several times so you can keep trying. You can also regulate your breath. Try not to let it all go in one big poof. So I'm about to start counting, so go ahead, inhale one more time, and let out all of your air. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep your eyes closed and breathe normally again. Notice if your breath is naturally a little bit deeper. See if it falls in and out a little easier. And finally, you're going to allow your eyes to drift open and move yourself to the front of your chairs. So today we're going to do our glute series on the floor, but I still want to stretch out our hips before we move on to our mat. So let's begin with the figure 4. I'm starting with my left over my right. My focus today is going to be less on the forward fold per se and a little bit more on dropping the knee. So let's bring one hand to the ankle, the other to the inside of the knee, and sit up nice and tall. Big inhale and exhale as you send a little bit of weight into that elbow. So we're focusing just for this particular seated stretch more on getting that outer hip right here, stretching out, and less about the glute itself. Now for me, I find it easier to get that outer hip stretch if I have a little bit more pressure on the inside of my knee. So I am going to forward fold, but very gently. It's not really as much about how far I can go. It's about trying to keep that knee down. Beautiful, ladies. Lovely, deep breath in. And exhale, you're just going to try to relax the area. Now for me, I've folded forward enough so that I can place my elbow to the inside of that knee. You're just going to breathe and try to relax the outside of that hip. That's your only job. It's just relaxing. The increased range of motion should be a goal, but it's kind of a byproduct of you releasing tension from the area. Oh, breathe. Beautiful. And as I'm breathing, that knee is dropping more and more, not necessarily because I'm actively pushing it down. It's just finding a new range of motion. And every time I do this, it always feels so good. Let's do one more breath. Inhale, exhale, and on this exhale, you're going to very gently, very slowly come up to a nice tall stacked position. I'm going to take that same leg, unhook out of the figure 4, and give me a full extension with the heel on the ground. Place your hands together and place it on top of the bent thigh. Here we are going to go into a deeper forward fold so we can get our hamstring. Now we want this knee to stay as flat as possible. We want that foot to stay as flexed as possible. We're going for as much length as we can down the back of that knee. thigh and calf. Very good. Now we're not going to spend too much time here because we will hit the hamstrings once more on the mat. It's always good to get initial stretch. And honestly, we're here, so why not? Big breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to come all the way up, supported with our hands. Go ahead and bend that knee, bring it back to center, and then the knees are going to come apart. The toes are pointed outward, and the knees are pointed on the same plane. We're going to place our elbows to the inside of the thighs. This requires a little bit of a hinge at the hips, and then those elbows are going to float out to the insides of the knees. Inhale deep, and exhale as we get that inner thigh stretch. Beautiful, ladies. Nice deep breaths. Now here we're activating from the shoulders a little bit, but most of the pressure on the inner knee is going to come from the hinge of the hip. So your core is engaged as far as your lower back needs support, but really we are trying to drop that chest. Beautiful. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to come all the way up to seated. Use your hands to support you if you need to. And we're going to bring those knees all the way together to do our figure four on the other side, which for me is going to be my right leg. So, hand to the inside of the ankle, other hand to the inside of the knee. And again, we're going down as far as we can. But of course, only with breath. And only by relaxing. Big breath in. And exhale as you very gently lean forward, begin to apply a little bit of pressure to the inside of that knee. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my other hand and bring it right here. Now you notice I'm not pushing with my shoulders, I'm resting, but both hands on there is going to add a little tiny bit more body weight. Good, breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. And if you're ready, you can go ahead and sweep that elbow to the inside of this knee. I find this to be a more relaxed position if you can get there. Good, big inhales. Big, awesome exhales. I feel a little tighter on this side right here. This side just want to loosen up. Gorgeous. Good. One more big inhale. Do your best to relax here. Relax and drop. Oh, relax, release. Send air straight to that muscle group. And then when you let it go, you let it go. Oh. All right, last one here for real. Big breath in. And exhale as you very gently, very slowly come up, releasing the pressure on that knee. Let's take that foot out, full extension, foot flexed, drop to the floor. Both hands laced on top of the bent knee and little forward fold. Good. Again, just very gentle initial hamstring stretch, but we do want as flat a knee as possible, as flexed a foot as you can. That toe, if it's pointed, shortens that calf, so it kind of comes up like that. So what we want is full length. Beautiful. And one more deep breath in. And exhale, very gently push yourself all the way up to a nice tall seated position. Bring your feet back to center, roll those shoulders back and down. We're going to go into our mat sequence. So for me, I'm going to move my chair out of the way. And move the mat up so you can see everything I'm doing just a little bit better. Should do it. Alrighty. So we're going to begin on our hands and knees. Now there's going to be one or two kind of new-ish stretches here. So if at any point one of them gets to be a little too much, you are more than welcome to go into child's pose or lying on your back with your knees into your chest. So starting in our tabletop position, the knees are directly underneath the hips, hands are directly underneath the shoulders. We're going to begin with 3 rounds of cat and cow. Big breath in. As you arch your back, that tailbone goes up to the sky, chest is open. And exhale, round your tailbone, belly button gets pulled into the spine and arch your back high. Big breath in. And big breath out. One more time, big breath in. And big breath out. Good. Now go ahead and find your neutral spine. If your wrists are sensitive, now is the time to come into monkey's paw. But I will say this next stretch, we're about to go into downward dog. It's a little bit easier with a flat palm. So we're going to begin by hooking the toes underneath and coming into basically a full plank position. Up nice and high. Hello, plank. Now, from here, you're going to send your tailbone way up to the sky. And those ears should be by your biceps. Now from here, we're going to send your weight into your right heel and soften your left knee. Then we're going to switch to the other side. Left heel goes down with a straight leg, right knee softens. One more time on both. Switch. You should feel this all through the calves and through the shoulders, and switch. Good, go ahead and straighten out both legs, sending both heels straight down to the floor, and come back into your plank position. Hold 2, 1, drop your knees, send your hips back, child's pose. Oh. There's your tiny round of yoga for the day. Now we're not going to spend a ton of time there, just because that does tend to warm up the body real quick, can be a little bit rough on the wrists. So let's come back up onto our hands and knees. One more round of cat and cow, just for good measure. And round that back. Very good. And then we're going to turn it over onto our back. I apologize, ladies. I should have told you this before, but we are going to need one piece of equipment. Something that you can wrap around the bottom of your foot. I'm going to use a strap here, but you can also use like an old sweatshirt or a dish rag, basically anything that's long enough for you to wrap around the sole of your foot and grab the ends of. But we're not going to do exactly that just yet. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to grab that if you need to. For the time being, we're going to pull the knees into our chest very gently. We're going to rock ourselves from right to left, a little bit of massage for the lower back. Good. Now we're going to go into our glute stretches. So let's go ahead and hook that right foot over the top of that left knee in a figure 4. But for this one, instead of trying to get that knee out wide, we're going to take our right hand, lace it through the figure 4. Left hand is going to meet it behind the left thigh. Good. Now for some people, they will be able to progress immediately into grabbing the front of the shin. All that does is make this stretch a little tighter, a little bit more intense. Good. Let's do 3 deep breaths here. Big inhale. And big exhale. Good. By now, I hope everybody has a little tool that they can use for later. Big breath in. breath out. Hug that knee a little closer if you can. One more time, deep breath in. And deep breath out. Very good. You're going to go ahead and release that foot, bring it to the floor. Unhook that knee. And you're going to rock your knees from right to left. Maybe a little bit wider than you would have before. I want each hip to come off the mat by maybe an inch or so. Good. We're going to go ahead and do the other side. Go ahead and hook that left ankle over the top of the right knee and pull that right knee in. Place the hand through and clasp behind the thigh. Or if you're already ready, go ahead and bring those hands to the shin. Big breath in. And exhale, hug and relax. Let's do that 2 more times. Big breath. And exhale. Whew. Very good. One more time. Giant breath in. And exhale, very gently, you're going to send that foot back down to the floor. Unhook that knee and rock those knees from right to left. This time we're going a little bit wider. So you may notice that we're kind of going into a lying twist. Now only go as far as your lower back can tolerate. Notice the hip is coming up off the mat. Take your time. Go ahead and bring your arms out to the letter T. Good. Keep your belly button pulled in ever so slightly. You basically just want to give yourself a little bit of support here. Keep your knees as stacked as you can, and at a certain point, if you're ready, you can try to drop those knees all the way over. And then you'll take your gaze in the opposite direction. So right now my knees are pointing to my left, so I'm going to take my gaze over to my right. Essentially completing the twist. Breathe into your belly. Exhale, relax through the lower back. Good. One more time. Big breath in. And exhale. Very gently engage your core, and you're going to bring your knees up and point them to the other side. Slowly, please do this slowly. Now my knees are together and falling toward my right. That left hip is up off the mat, and now I'm taking my gaze toward you. So I can look right at you. Georgianne, I saw your dog earlier during the breathing exercise, wondering what Mom was doing. It was very cute. Big breath in, and on this exhale, lightly tighten your core just enough for you to bring both knees to center together. Go ahead and bring your gaze forward, and you're going to grab your little tool, whatever it is that you choose. You're going to start on your right leg. Right leg, full extension, sole of the foot pointing straight up to the sky. You're going to wrap whatever you got around the sole of your foot. Beautiful. Now, essentially, the goal here is to keep the knee as flat as possible while still breathing into the hamstring, and eventually that toe will come this way. So, first make sure that your ankle, knee are all stacked right on top of your hips, so they're not falling in nor are they flaring out. It's totally possible to get a stretch here with a soft knee, but did you see how much farther I could go with a soft knee? This isn't really going to give me a real sense of my range of motion, so I like to, as much as possible, keep a straight knee unless it bothers your kneecap. And you breathe. And over time, that toe, if you're looking up at your toe, is going to travel along the ceiling. just a tiny bit at a time. Feel free to switch your grip as often as is necessary. Find a grip that works for you. Shouldn't be too much work for your shoulders. But your arms are certainly engaged here. You notice my leg is shaking a little bit and I'm starting to lose my flat knee. My knee is going to try to bend to touch. If that happens, that's totally okay. What you can do, if you like, is back off from the stretch a little bit, straighten out that knee, and reapproach. Nice deep breath in. Exhale and relax. We're going to do that just 2 more times. Big inhale. Exhale. Try to lengthen. Good. 1 more time. Big inhale. See how much farther my foot is now, and exhale. Go ahead and release. Come out of the stretch first, please, before you bend the knee. Go right on over to the other side. Feel free to rock your hips a little bit right here. Flexed foot on the left. Hook your shirt, rag, strap, band, whatever you got around the sole of your foot. Full extension, full flex of that foot. And again. Good. Try to get that as flat as possible. It is feeling a little tight today. Now, there are some days that are going to feel more flexible than others. One side might feel more flexible than the other. Good. Again, make sure that your ankle is aligned with your hips so that you're not falling out or falling in. Keep your knee as flat as possible, foot as flexed as possible, and breathe. Giant breath in. And exhale. Good. Big breath in. Exhale, relax. You're probably going to quiver a little bit. I know I do at this point. 1 more time. Giant breath in. And exhale as you very gently, please come out of the stretch before you bend your knee. Take that strap off, put it to the side. Knees come into your chest 1 last time. And allow your eyes to come close. 3 final breaths here. Giant breath in. Let go of the day behind you. Giant breath in. Exhale, let go of the day ahead of you. 1 more deep breath. And on this exhale, let your right foot float to the floor. Let your left foot float to the floor. And take this moment to thank your body for everything it's just done. Finally, allow your eyes to drift open to a soft and steady gaze. And ladies, that is our class. Very gently roll to your side. Come on up. I'm going to come say a quick hello. But don't fall over first.